The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Red Raider basketball staff getting kind of filled out. Jamie, Coach McCaslin announced a couple of additions to his staff on Friday, hiring Rim Backamus as an assistant coach, and then Duncan Bacon as the associate director of operations. Backamus comes to Texas Tech after being at Arizona. He was there as an assistant coach. He'd also been a grad assistant at Baylor and a player for Gonzaga. And then Bacon comes back. He was a grad assistant here in Lubbock last year. Had left to go to Abilene Christian, but now is back as the associate director of operations. So he had joined Abilene Christian back in April as its director of operations. But I'll bet you being the associate here is better than being the director there.
Yeah, you would think so.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
He had some time, Bacon had, at ACU. He was a student assistant there for 4 years, including when they beat Texas in 2021 in the NCAA tournament. So it's not like he just got there and said, "Oh, Abilene, not the prettiest town I've ever seen," but decided to come here. Okay, and then the big news yesterday. Is Todrick Gocher coming back to the fold and being hired as an assistant coach. I'm not sure what everybody's duties are, but the bottom line is he's going to be an assistant coach. He is here and back in Lubbock after being overseas for 9 years. And
his job will be to teach them how to be an awesome Red Raider.
Well, there's no doubt. There's no doubt because that guy, man,
And Grant McCaslin's just going to go, you guys want to see how to be an awesome Red Raider? Just points at Tiger Gocher. There, follow that example.
No question about it. Playing for numerous coaches, tough situations, and always a smile on his face.
Yeah, just a great guy. Fun guy to be around, and he was an easy guy to root for. Not because he was a good player, but which he absolutely was, but just because of the personality.
Yeah, he's got 3 degrees from Texas Tech. He's an example of a guy that took advantage of his time here with a bachelor's degree and then has master's degrees in sports management and media and communication. The sports management in 2015, the media and communication in 2016, and then went and played 9 years of professional ball. And I told you earlier this morning or earlier this summer that I'd seen him out and about here in Lubbock, and I'd asked him, I said, are you done? Are you going to go back? And he kind of, he didn't say, oh, I'm going back. I didn't, I'm just here for the summer. Kind of, I think it was a little indecisive, but obviously Grant McCaslin made him an offer he couldn't refuse.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
sure, if he wants to get into the coaching world, to get onto this staff with this program and what you've got going here, obviously, and it being his alma mater, sure that was tough for him to turn down. Probably being a family guy and all that, it's easier to live his life here as well.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's got young kids, and you got to experience Europe, and what a great opportunity that was for him, I'm sure, and all those things. That's great news. The other big news over the last few days has been the addition to the roster, although there's not been any official signing yet, and he may have signed, they just may not have announced it yet, but Jalen Petty, who is going to be coming to Texas Tech. He's a 4-star, he's a point guard, and this could be the last piece of the roster puzzle for Texas Tech.
Yeah, he's kind of maybe one unkept secret, so to speak. It seems like he's been waiting in the wings for a while, and I don't know. I imagine that the recruitment of the Australian kid had something to do with this, as to whether they pulled the trigger or not. It just kind of felt that way. And after you found out that Henschel was going to play in Perth or wherever it was, because he couldn't become academically eligible here, you figured that this was going to happen. I believe he was the player of the year in the state of Washington, and he does play the point guard position, and clearly you have a need there. I still wouldn't expect him to be your starting point guard, but definitely a guy that can handle the ball, and I mean, big-time athleticism as well.
Yeah, and Petty had committed to New Mexico and then decommitted when Richard Pitino left to go to Xavier.
Yeah.
And so I think you're exactly right.
It seems like there was another school he was committed to at one point as well. Choice and I were talking about this last week. I think we're like the third school he's been connected to before his college career started. Yeah.
He had flipped his commitment to Stanford in April.
Yeah, see.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then reopened his recruiting in mid-June.
Well, let's hope we got him to actually sign something.
Right, and I think that's probably why you haven't heard an official announcement from Texas Tech. And so maybe they're trying to get all the I's dotted and T's crossed. Yeah.
Make sure he doesn't flip again.
Yeah, I mean he's upgraded, from New Mexico, and so the Henschel thing I think was, and look, I don't know this for a fact, but I think it's really more about this guy. The guy wasn't going to be eligible to play college basketball.
Right.
Yeah. Just bottom line, and even if he was, I think you were the leader in the clubhouse.
It seemed like that.
But it seemed like there were a lot of other people as well. I need to correct myself on Bacon. I guess I misread that press release that was out there. All right, let me go back there. He was hired by Stephen F. Austin as director of operations. I'm sorry. So thank you, Chris Sneed, for correcting me on that. He graduated from Abilene Christian, worked 1 season at Harding, then was a student assistant for ACU for 4 seasons before leaving Abilene Christian. So Stephen F. Austin's where he had spent some time and then had been the director of operations. So anyway, I got that kind of flipped around there a little bit. So sorry to make that messy.
All good.
6:39 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat. But anyway, the question is, do you use Jalen Petty? You've got Christian Anderson. You got a lot of weapons now. For that Red Raider basketball team that quietly has put together really another very good roster, right?
Yeah, no doubt. I don't think it's quietly. I think it was loudly right after the portal season opened for basketball. All the guys you brought in. I think it was good and loud, but now it's just kind of fizzled because you haven't added anybody lately.
And maybe I say quietly just compared to football, but football seems
a lot less players. But.
So it's a quiet football season during basketball. Off season during basketball season, and a quiet basketball off season during football season. Who'd have thunk it?
This is the Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
In sports history, today is August the 6th, 2025. Here's Jeff McGuire.
Going to start us off in 1953 with future Baseball Hall of Fame slugger Ted Williams returning to the Red Sox for military service in Korea and ends his abbreviated season with a .407 batting average.
It's a pretty good one.
Yes. 1963, Philadelphia NBA franchise changes their name from the Nationals to the 76ers.
Oh.
Based on the U.S. Declaration of Independence signed in Philadelphia in 1776. Boy, that only took them almost 200 years to figure that one out. We should really give them some credit for quick thinking there.
No question.
1999, Tony Gwynn goes 4 for 5 and collects his 3,000th Major League Baseball hit as San Diego beats the Expos 12-7 at Olympic Stadium in Montreal. And in 2006... for an MLB record 11th time in his career, Padres closer Trevor Hoffman records 30 or more saves in a season, surpassing the record set by Lee Smith, baseball's all-time saves leader.
Seems like there's been a lot of closers who've been dominant for short periods of time and then kind of go away. But Hoffman clearly, with those numbers, showing you that he was a guy that was consistent for a long time.
And in 2016, former Red Raider Chad Bettis gets win number 10 for the Rockies, giving up 3 runs on 6 hits in 6 innings of work in a 12-6 win over the Marlins. It is National Root Beer Float Day.
I could get behind that.
I like it.
I could dig into that with a spoon and a straw right now.
Probably have had 1, maybe 2 my whole entire life, but they're good.
What about like a Coke float? No,
I don't think I've had many of those.
no.
I'm yes on all of them.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
whatever.
I don't know that I would
whatever.
do a strawberry soda or a strawberry ice cream, but almost any combination of ice cream and or soda to put together, I would enjoy. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and I've had the Mountain Dew float as well.
I bet that would taste good.
Yep.
Big time happy birthdays today. Like, quite possibly one of the biggest we could have.
Oh.
Happy birthday. 1, Texas Tech head football coach Joey McGuire.
There you go.
Turns 54 today. So you know what he needs. He needs a new jacket.
No, he doesn't. He's fine.
Another big birthday. Somebody who doesn't need a new jacket, might need a new Rangers cap. Brennan Riker turns 22 today.
22 for Brennan Riker. Wow.
David Robinson is 60, Max Kellerman 52, Mike Greenberg 58, and Kareem Hunt is 30. And on this day, 1945, the United States became the first and only nation to use atomic weaponry during wartime when it dropped an atomic bomb on the Japanese city of Hiroshima. Approximately 80,000 people are killed as a direct result of the blast, and another 35,000 are injured. At least another 60,000 would be dead by the end of the year from the effects of the fallout. And there would be one more coming. And that is this day in sports history.
All right, this day in sports history. Thank you, Jeff. 6:48 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to doublet973.com for that of the mobile app. The Visual Edge IT hotline is open too at 806-771-0973. Still no news on Micah Parsons other than he wants to be traded. And Jerry saying don't lose sleep over it.
He's actually not expecting him to be ready for the season opener now.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
That's the news of that story.
Yeah.
Yay.
And that they were standing 7 feet from each other yesterday, not talking.
It's just crazy, isn't it? I mean, it's silly. It's just silly. At least it seems like it's silly to me.
The one thing that I would like to know is, Jerry claims that they had an agreement. I wonder if there's truth in that, and Micah and his people went back on that agreement, and there's frustration because of that. I don't know. It seems like my guess is that the whole trade demand thing is just part of trying to gain leverage and the battle between the two here. But at the same time, I don't know. I'm starting to believe that maybe that Jerry is going to end up moving him. I don't know. It's just dumb.
This from the Sporting News. There's a prediction that the Cowboys would trade him to the Arizona Cardinals. The package would include a player, and then let's see. No, it's not. It's a 26 first round pick, a 26 second round pick, a 27 first round pick, a 26 third round pick.
A first round pick the next 2 years?
Yeah.
Goodness. Take that deal.
Jeff, you're...
Yes.
Gracious.
Yes.
It's just, I think part of the reason that this story is such a beatdown is like, who are you rooting for?
The end.
Cowboy fans. You're rooting for Cowboy fans, okay? Right? And Cowboy fans want this to end, like Jeff just said.
It's not going to end well. We just want it to end.
Just, like, Jerry is, we all know what Jerry is, okay? He loves him some drama. And Micah Parsons is a bad teammate. He's a terrific football player. He's a bad teammate and runs his mouth way too much. And he just he's great, but do we really want him on our side kind of guy? I don't know. It's just the whole thing's a joke. They're perfect for each other as far as I'm concerned. A week from now, this deal gets done. A week from now, they're going to be talking about how much they love each other, and that's just going to be annoying.
Mm-hmm. Or a week from now, they're gonna have a trade, and it's going to be the best thing for both sides. Yeah,
it feels like that'd be the case.
That'd be the better.
Depends what the deal is, but if you get 2 first-round picks, I'd definitely say it's a good deal for the Cowboys.
And then they're also throwing in, according to this article in Sporting News, an edge rusher, Zaven Collins, who apparently is a project. Okay.
Project.
Well, I mean, apparently he's a guy that has a lot of talent, but just that fruit hasn't developed yet, as much as probably they would like it. But the fact that you could get 2 first-round picks, yeah, sign you up for some of that. So we'll see what happens there with regard to that. And then for all the quarterback drama that they got going on in Cleveland, and they've got some injuries, and they signed a guy to help with camp. Shadur Sanders is going to get the start.
Exciting.
So
ESPN will be all over that.
So is that to showcase his talent? Is because all the reports were that he's 4th on the depth chart. So he's 4th on the depth chart, but he gets
everybody hurt.
Everybody. We got a couple of guys got
that would probably factor in
hamstrings
him
and things like that.
Start.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not like we expect whoever starts in game 1 of a preseason to go 30 for 42 with 364 yards. They're usually in there for a couple series.
Right, and then
but this might be a different situation, though.
Yeah, he might get more.
Because they don't know who their starting quarterback is.
No. Yeah, I think if you're in Cleveland, Joe Flacco's going to be the guy, but it's got to be healthy too. He's got to be ready to go, and maybe they're just trying to preserve him a little bit because he's a veteran.
Man, I mean, we have just talked about 2 franchises. I mean, some franchise it's always this kind of stuff with them.
Right.
The Cowboys and the Browns.
Yeah.
It's always a mess.
That's more like 4 weeks from now with regard to Micah Parsons. No way Jerry gets anything done in a week.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
You're probably right about that.
No question.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Good morning with Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. Do you think, we talked about the coaches poll and where Texas Tech was ranked, and the fact that I think Arizona State was ranked 12th, I think was their number. That no Big 12 teams were inside the top 25. That's not something, or in the top 10 is what I should say. That no Big 12 were inside the top 10.
Do you think there's a Big 12 that deserves to be in the top 10?
No.
I think I would lean towards thinking that I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't necessarily look at any of these Big 12 teams and feel like, okay, that's a team that's going to compete for the national championship yet. I mean, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. But clearly, I think there's some good teams in this conference that can be really good.
Yeah.
Including the Red Raiders, that I think are worthy of being in the top 25. And you wouldn't be shocked if they found themselves in the top 10. But we just have to wait and see. I can't get up in arms over that at this point.
No, I can't either. 11th is where they were. So I asked this question the other day. I'll ask this for you. Of the top 12 teams, and I'll just give them to you here real quick. Texas is 1, Ohio State 2, Penn State 3, Georgia 4, Notre Dame 5, then Clemson at 6, and then rounding out the top 10, it's Oregon, Alabama, LSU, Miami, Arizona State, and Illinois. So of those 12 teams, which ones do you think won't be in the college football playoff at the end?
Miami.
Okay.
Arizona State.
Okay.
That's it.
What about Illinois? You think Illinois will?
They're going to play in the Big Ten.
Right.
I've not looked at their schedule, but if it's anything like Indiana's last year, you can ride that wave towards, having the lighter Big Ten schedule to getting in.
Mm-hmm. All right, so
I don't think Arizona State's going to make it in because I think the Red Raiders will have the Big 12 spot.
Here's Illinois' schedule. They play Western Illinois. They play Duke. They play Western Michigan. So they got Western Illinois, Western Michigan. They do have Indiana on the schedule. They do have SC on the schedule. They play them at home. They play at Purdue. They play at home against Ohio State. They play at Washington. They play at home against Rutgers, at home against Maryland, at Wisconsin, and at home against Northwestern. So they kind of do have an Indiana schedule.
Yeah. They got the game with Ohio State, but it's at home.
It's at home.
Yeah.
And they have USC at home, so...
And USC's pretty mediocre.
Yeah.
They're more of a name than they are.
Sure. They're a logo, right?
Yeah.
And, I mean, you're not going to shake in your boots over Rutgers or Maryland or Northwestern.
Wisconsin.
Maybe
right
even
now,
Wisconsin.
where that program
yeah,
is.
Right. So, maybe they can run through it and go, hey, we could be 10-2. I mean, they probably look at their schedule and go, hey, if we lose to Ohio State, they're the number 1 or number 2 team in the country. That's not going to be that big of a mark on us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they might actually get into that spot. So, but yeah, so what the point of all that is, it goes to show you how hard it is to make the college football playoff.
Right now, there's only 12 of them.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at kind of who's ahead of you, and you have to hope that somebody slips up there, or maybe somebody has doesn't have the, maybe Clemson doesn't have the year that they think they're going to have, but those are pretty salty names there, salty logos with Texas and Ohio State and Penn State and Georgia. Some might say that Notre Dame won't have the year that people think that they're going to have, that they're overranked at number 5 in the country. So anyway, that's the deal there. And then you're hoping that you can climb up. But at least you're ranked. I just would have liked to have seen that a little bit higher. But maybe they're saying, okay, we're gonna give you that ranking, the coaches, based on the roster that you've developed and put together, and the potential that you have for the season. Now let's see what you can do with it.
Yeah, I mean it seems fair. I mean, it was. Yeah, I know that you've added a lot this offseason, but I think you have to prove it, right? Mm-hmm. That they can play together and do great things. I mean, it's not like you were a program that was, near the top 10 last year, so you get the benefit of the doubt again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Win games, you'll get there.
Here's the thing that may be more shocking than Texas Tech at number 24. If you were thinking that that's too low, okay, not that they're in the top 25, but if you're thinking that that's too low, Oklahoma's on the outside looking in, and USC's on the outside looking in. I wonder when the last time those two teams were on the outside looking in together.
Yeah.
It's got to have been decades, right?
It's probably been a while.
Maybe back into the 90s with Oklahoma.
I mean, it may have been last year, though, if we're being honest.
Yeah, it might have been.
One of those teams were great last season.
Yeah, it's not like and I'm not going back to last year just to see what it was, but...
you know why I'm not worried about it where they're ranked right now? Because I remember Cliff Kingsbury's first year. You started the season 7-0.
7-0.
Do you remember what ranking you had worked your way up to at that point?
Was it like 12?
10.
10.
It was 10, yeah.
You were a top 10 football team that year. Did anybody here in Lubbock, Texas think you were the number 10 team in the country? No, because we knew what we had left on the schedule.
Yeah.
We knew we had played nobody.
Mm-hmm.
And by week 7, we were a top 10 team. The short answer is what Jamie's already alluded to. Just go win football games. and it'll take care of itself.
Unless in Game 8, they're using that same official that they used in Norman that gave you your
I'm not
first
bringing
loss.
him up. I didn't bring him up. I was talking about just winning games.
Yeah.
I'm not bringing up that guy that should never, ever be allowed to officiate anything ever again.
This
Receiver getting tugged on, and he gets called for pass interference.
right.
Not the defensive back who's got the jersey pulling back because he can't keep up with Jakeem Grant. No. Jakeem Grant being pulled backwards, he gets called for pass interference.
Yeah. I don't understand this from the chat line. I don't understand how Arizona State is ranked so high when they lost the heart and soul of their team in Scadaboo.
I think that's their biggest question, right? They do return a lot, including a quarterback that everybody really likes, including the scouts. So I think that's where they get their benefit of the doubt. They were a playoff team a year ago. They bring back their quarterback. They bring back their stud wide receiver. And so you think that they can, they get the benefit of the doubt because of what they did last year. But you're absolutely right. I have the same question in my mind, because he was so important to them. And so it'll be interesting to see. I keep thinking in my mind they're not going to be as good, but I don't know. I think their coach is a good coach, and they've got a great leader behind center, so that does a lot for you right there.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see how the Red Raiders handle playing on the road there in Tempe at Arizona State. And keep in mind that they were a playoff team last year. They won the Big 12, obviously, but they weren't ranked when Texas Tech beat them, which is crazy how their season ended. When you think about it, and then you also think about, well, boy, but you can't look at the past. Past is a bucket of ashes, but it does make you think back to a couple of games and go, boy, sure would like to have Baylor back. Sure would like to have TCU back. 7:25 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Jamie's question of the day is next on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
Okay, so this is a little bit odd. Okay?
Well, we should fit right in then.
This is going to be a two-parter.
We should kill it.
There's no wrong answers in this one.
Oh, but I love that.
Okay? All right, so let's take a look at the season stats from last year for Baron Morton. And we all know where he can get to as far as, career touchdowns and career starts and those kind of things. He could be second all-time in touchdowns if he has a good season, all that good stuff. A solid season, right? Not even have to be great. Last year, he completes 63% of his passes. He throws for 3,335 yards, 27 touchdowns to only 8 interceptions. Okay? If Baron Morton has those same numbers again this year, same numbers, he stays healthy and has the same numbers again this season, Texas Tech goes 10-2 and misses out on the Big 12 championship game.
Ooh.
Okay? How would you describe Baron Morton's career at Texas Tech?
What's the second part?
No.
Okay, so
can I answer this part first?
here's what I'm going to say. On the surface, I would say that we would say maybe as a fan group that good, not good enough to be considered great, but if you really peeled back the onion and looked at it, his numbers were better than that he deserves a better memory than what we're going to give him if he duplicates the numbers.
Good, not great. Missed opportunities. Injuries limited what he could do. missed a giant chance to improve his own game.
Okay, so you said the word 2 times that, missed opportunities, missed chance.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I feel like, because I feel like if you go back and look, you're close the last 2 years of making a Big 12 championship game.
Mm-hmm.
You just couldn't get it done, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it was games that maybe you shouldn't have lost that ultimately ended up costing you, right? And part of that is Barron has not been able to stay healthy at times. I think it's commendable that last year he played through all of that and still had a really good season. But it's just the missed opportunities thing. And the quarterback he's the quarterback, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of put that, you don't necessarily put it on him, but like it goes on his resume.
Well,
right?
He probably gets too much credit and he gets too much blame.
Okay, so part 2. Baron Morton this upcoming season has the same kind of year that he just had, okay? And raises him, and he's going to be like top 3 in every category in Texas Tech quarterback history, right? Mm-hmm. Now, true, he's had more years than other guys, okay, just like Taj Brooks did, okay? But your team goes 10-2, and you make the Big 12 championship game, the first ever for Texas Tech, huh? But you don't get into the college football playoff. Where does Baron Morton rate then? How do you describe his tenure then?
I think he's a guy that broke the seal and, at least got you to the Big 12 championship game and showed you that route is possible. I don't know that he's going to be considered in that one season better than Graham Harrell or Cliff Kingsbury or even B.J. Simmons, but he's going to be in that. He's going to be in that group.
Okay.
Missed opportunity, missed chances, injuries,
Same
limited.
thing.
No change.
No change.
Now, if
he got to the playoff.
Yeah, that changes things. If you win the Big 12 championship game, that changes things because then he's your Big 12 championship quarterback. And if his numbers had gone up, like let's say he throws for 4,500 yards, so a massive increase in what he did, and improves his touchdown number without improving his interception number. Like if his numbers got better and you lose the Big 12 championship game, it'll be what if he could have stayed healthy. That's where the change would be. Yeah. But same numbers, lost in the Big 12 championship game in a Big 12 that didn't have Texas or Oklahoma. Missed chances, missed opportunities.
Yeah, I think I would be closer to Chuck on this one and feeling like, hey, he's the guy that took you to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
He's the guy that took a step forward, and that sometimes that's the hardest thing to do, is to get from one level to the next, and he was the guy that led you there. It's funny because I think if you get to the Big 12 championship game this year, I think Joey McGuire gets some credit, but I think a lot of it goes to the roster.
Yes.
But I think if the football team gets to the Big 12 championship game this year, I think Baron Morton ends up getting more credit than Joey McGuire does, just because he's the quarterback. Yeah. All right, so my final question to you guys.
No, there were 2 parts. This is third part.
Okay, so which of the 2 people I just mentioned has more pressure on him this year, Joey McGuire or Baron Morton?
Joey McGuire without hesitation.
Yeah, me too. I just feel like that all of it's on his shoulders.
I think it's Baron Morton. I think do you think Joey McGuire, if they go 9-3 and miss the Big 12 championship game, is losing his job?
No.
Does Baron Morton need to be great to get himself a chance to play at the next level? I think he does.
Great.
Yeah, I think he's got to be a little bit better than he was this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got to show that he can throw the ball down the field more, and I mean, part of it was the way you designed the offense, but part of it was also him being, his shoulder bothering him, so they didn't use the deep passes as much, didn't use the middle of the field as much. I think Baron Morton, if he's going to play in the NFL, I think he's got to have a better season. If he's going to give himself a legitimate chance, I think he's got to have a better season, which I think he's capable of if he can stay healthy. I really do. I think Joey McGuire has pressure. Sure, he does. But he's not losing his job if they don't make the Big 12 championship game. I think Baron Morton is his chances of making the NFL, if he's just okay this year, are much smaller.
Yeah, exponentially. You're right, because he becomes a free agent if he's just got so numbers, and then he has to prove himself in camp. If he has a really good year, he's going to get drafted and have an opportunity.
This is the Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Hour 3 of 3 on the Morning Drive on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3. Take your thoughts and comments on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Visual Edge IT hotline is open too if you'd like to voice them. Look forward to hearing from you on that. And then, of course, we come to you from the First United Bank studio here in downtown Lubbock. Won't be long that we'll have football season as the games. This is, you like to call it talking season. Which is fair because no games are being played yet for college football. It's coming up. It's gonna be soon. We're 24 days away from the first football game, and then after the game, Double T 97.3 Coors Light post game show from the Overton again this year. So excited about that. Hopefully, I'll have some nice trinkets to hand out to folks, and they'll be happy after the ball game.
Yep, that'd be nice. Because
we've played well, not just played well enough, but we've played well. And you've, at least for the first 3 games, dominated your opponent so that you've left no questions asked, right? At least for the first 2 games. Like, if you have questions after the first 2 games, man, it could be not the season that you think it's going to be. But
the only question I want to ask after the first 2 games, could we have scored 100? That's the question I want to ask. Not did we? I'm okay if we don't. But could we have? Could you see them take the foot off the accelerator because you are up by 70 points? Mm-hmm. Those are the questions I want to ask.
I bet you'll score 100 the first 2 weeks.
No, for each game. In the game.
Yeah. I'm just talking about combined. I'll be disappointed if you don't.
Did we run the stadium out of fireworks? These are the questions I want to ask.
110 plus, maybe.
It makes me. I don't have my last year's media guide, so I could.
I don't want to see a 100-point game. That thing is going to drag forever.
Yeah. My question would be: what's the highest game scored at Jones Stadium? Is it 75 points? Is it over 70? Over 70?
Well, of course it's over 70.
Didn't we score 77?
Yeah. Heck, you scored 70 on Nebraska.
70-10, that's right.
I thought we had a 77 game. Yeah.
Hold, please.
I love watching my Red Raiders win. But it, when it's that bad, it's boring.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's just get this over with. I mean, there's things to still be interested in, like, oh, hey, here's look, Wake Forest is in playing quarterback. Oh, hey, look, there's, Leighton Stone's first career touchdown. Yeah, okay, cool. Hey, that guy's going to be awesome for us this year. Yeah, okay. Younger guys, feel good about it. That's cool. I'm a fan. But, if it's, 65-6, we're all going to be like, let's get this thing over with.
Right.
You had 63 against Murray State in 2022. I'm going season by season here looking at non-conference games.
Okay, well, we know there's a 70. So
we know there's a 70 with Nebraska. Yeah.
Well, I also know that was, forever ago, so I was trying to find one closer that was in that range.
That was obviously that was a Leach team there. Hey, let me ask you this. I do have a Baron Morton question for you, but who do you think's who do you think's the number 2 quarterback right now, or do you think that's up for grabs?
I don't think it's up for grabs.
You think it's Mitch Griffiths, or do you think it's Will Hammond?
I think it's Will Hammond.
Okay.
77 against Lamar.
Yeah.
77 against Lamar.
And that was 77-0.
Scott says Tech scored 80 at the Jones, but I don't know what year that was. Could have been 70s or 60s. He's Scots of that era, at least the 70s, I think.
Checking one at a time.
Maybe it might have been there in the 60s. Might have been there in as a kid, as a single digit kid. Okay, so here's my question for you. You were talking about Baron Morton stats from last year, and if he duplicated, what's an interception number that you think would be really good? Because last year he had 27 touchdowns. He had 8 interceptions. The team all total had 11 interceptions. Your opponents were intercepted 14 times. So Barron last year was 295 of 466 for 8 interceptions, 3,335 yards and 27 touchdowns. So is that an acceptable ratio, or is that just a little too high on the interceptions to touchdown?
11 doesn't seem like a terrible season. Okay.
11 for the total. Barron had 8.
8, I know.
Okay.
I'm just you mentioned 11 there.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're at 11, you want to be, 33 or more, right? 3 to 1-ish.
Okay.
Would feel like it's a phenomenal season.
Because you had 31 passing touchdowns, you gave up 28 passing touchdowns. Now, from a rushing standpoint, you gave up 28 as well. You had 26. Do you feel like the rushing attempts is going to be substantially less than it was last year? You were at 474 last year, and you had 536 passing attempts. I feel like the passing attempts number could be higher, and the rushing attempts could be lower.
A little bit. Yeah, I don't think it's dramatically different, though.
You think it could be 20 on each side?
Something like that.
Some of that probably is also going to depend on
20 to 50, somewhere in there.
Yeah, some of that's going to depend on the game situation too, right? If you're trying to run out the clock, or if you're, trying to come back.
If it's not, we hired the wrong guys.
If what's not. If
our offensive coordinator, if Mac Leftwich is not changing the run to pass ratio to whether we're way up or we're winning or losing.
No.
We're trying to run out the clock.
No. I understand.
Or we're trying to come from behind.
Yes, absolutely. No.
If that's not changing, the game situation is not changing it, we've hired the wrong guy.
No, my point is that pass attempt number could be higher, and that running attempt, I don't think the rushing attempt is going to be any higher than what you've done in the past, the 474. That seems high to me.
Maybe we'll be way out in front so much that we'll have to run the clock out the whole fourth quarter.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, we'll just be...
We'll run the ball
taking knees
60 times against, Kent State, because we'll be up 50-0.
That's in the second quarter, right?
Yeah, right before halftime, right. We've got a running clock in the second half.
Please.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.